Broncos country, we're back at it. It's horsepower hour. This is going to be a fun one. Of course, free agency kicks off here in a week. Kodiak, your birthday, right? Coming up here soon. So in today's video or show, we're going to talk a little bit less about free agency and more about the NFL Combine. We're going to be breaking down the winners and who the Denver Broncos should target at running back, at wide receiver, at tight end, at linebacker. So y'all know the drill. Be sure, smash that like, subscribe to everybody's channels. They're in the description of the video, and contribute to the chat. Whether you're an Alex Singleton fan or not, you are welcome in Broncos country. Okay, so I think we're just going to get into things right now for the sake of time, and we'll see how things go. So let me go ahead and bring up everybody's names. Thank you again, Kodiak, Mark, and Jeremy, for joining the show as always.
Yes, sir.
But we're going to start with running backs, and we haven't really talked too much about this format. So, Kodiak, are you going to go through kind of some of your combine winners at this position, and then you'll take our questions afterwards? Is that kind of what you're feeling?
I think I can just briefly touch on like all these prospects, and then if we have any thoughts, anybody can like interject afterwards. Because this is basically going to be a live Kodiak video if you guys have seen my channel. So, yeah.
Let's okay. Well, let's go ahead and get right into it.
All right, perfect. So I thought Mike Washington deserved obviously to be the starter in this slideshow. Now, obviously, I got to mention Jeremiah Love. He absolutely blew it out of the water, but he's not a realistic option for the Broncos. That being said, absolute freak of nature. So I did not expect Mike Washington to test this well. Okay. I knew he'd be a beast. Everybody who watched him knew he'd be a beast. Everybody who watched him knew that he would be an absolute athletic demon. That being said, I didn't expect his athleticism to be historic. Okay. He's only one of 2 running backs since 2015 to get a relative athletic score of 10 or higher. Okay. He is just absolutely nuts. All right. Jaw-dropping movement for his size. The only questions with him are, how our team's going to weigh some of the concerns about him, because, he did have a fumbling problem in college. He did have, relatively pedestrian production while he was at Buffalo against the MAC. And obviously he had to share the backfield last year in New Mexico State with another running back who's going to be on this list. But either way, any thoughts about Mike Washington, fellas?
Blew it out of the water.
Oh.
I knew he was fast and smooth and all that. Never would I have guessed that he was a 4.3 fat and like a smooth 4.3.
Yeah, exactly.
But most importantly, he also had the best 10-yard split. What do they have it there at? It was a
151. It's unofficial, but it was confirmed to be 151.
Yeah, 151, which is ridiculous. Also the fastest. I mean, I think personally, and I don't usually put that much stock in the combine, but the film with him absolutely matches the athleticism. I think he's absolutely going to be the second running back taken in this draft this year. I think he leaped over Jadarian Price.
Yeah. Jeremy and David, any thoughts?
Yeah, it's nice to see the prospects that you have shouted out and looked ahead and been like, really like this guy to perform well. And then you realize, damn it, I wish you hadn't done as well because we were going to try to get these guys. And now they're on everybody's radar. I mean, I'm sure they already were, but like, it's just like that double edged. It's like, oh man, Kenyon Sadiq I'm doing the tight ends later. I'm like, I wanted you to do good. I didn't need you to do historically good, So,
exactly.
Yeah, it's kind of bittersweet when you see these kind of things. But yeah, no, I mean, obviously Mike Washington was a big guy that we liked, and he proved why. It's just going to come down to those fumbles but yeah, I mean, what can you say? Look at the Raz. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, Mr. Talks. Any thoughts?
Yeah. Dude, first off, I got to say it, dude. You were the one that called it. What, 3 weeks ago? You said the Broncos got to trade up into the first to go get this guy, Mike Washington. And now look at him, man. A 5.51, 10-yard split, 4.3 speed. Like this guy is exactly who we need. Now, Jonathan Taylor had fumbling issues coming out too. He seemed to fix those with Indianapolis. personally, okay, 4 fumbles this past year, I believe, right? I think it's 12 in his entire college career, not 12 this year.
Something fucking fell down behind me.
I hope that means he's not getting tagged, or I hope that doesn't mean he's not getting tagged. But yeah, Mike Washington, I would be totally okay if we drafted this dude with our 30th overall pick. I know that might be a little rich for some of y'all. And again, depending on who's on the board, you might want to go a different position. But how many times do we get on this show together and complain that we don't have enough guys that can make plays? This guy is that. We're so, caught up in the negatives of somebody's game that we can forget what they can do. It's kind of like KC Concepcion. If this guy's at 30, you got to take a hard look at drafting him too. I know he's had drops, but this dude's electric. This guy can transform an offense. Let's try and coach those things. What's the point of coaches if these guys can't improve their weak areas? So Mike Washington is an absolute yes for me. I love this guy. I'm not even worried about where he was at prior to Arkansas. When you put up 1,000 yards with that terrible offensive line, get hit in the backfield, nah, man, you deserve credit. You're something special.
Exactly.
It was cool to see him get emotional too after he ran it. That's always a cool moment. Think about it, literally changed his life. But it was massive for him, and it just come out and do it was cool. It was cool to see.
Oh yeah. He knew it too. He knew it. And Terry Arnold, I don't know if you guys watched the podcast with Sertan, but he said the agent called him and he was like 4 or 5. Oh man, I gotta run again. All right. So moving on to our next guy I wanted to talk about, Jadarian Price. So you had already mentioned that you kind of think that I don't know how he has adjusted within your ranks, Mark, but Jadarian Price is somebody that I think was a relative loser of the combine. I don't think he was anything. I don't think he drastically did anything bad to his stock or anything because he still tested well. But now you have questions about the size. Okay, if he's going to be 5'10", 203, if he's going to play at 5'10", 203, what is his ceiling? Because ultimately that was something that we had those questions with Gibbs a couple of years ago when he was coming out of Georgia Tech and Alabama. But yeah, he also had the second slowest 10-yard split of all the running backs who tested. It says 1.57 on the RAS card, but it was confirmed by the NFL to be 1.61. So, he's one of those guys that you're going to have to trust the tape with because the tape for Jadarian Price is sick. He's good. He is really good. I don't think, the NFL Combine is not telling us that this guy can't play. But concerned about his size or anything? Anybody have any thoughts about Price?
I was surprised to see him run as slow as he did, man, to be honest, because again, when you're watching his tape or his highlights, I mean, this dude is juking people out of their cleats and then running them over. And yeah, I was kind of surprised to see that his 10-yard split, his vertical, weren't better. But yeah, he's a tape guy. And there's nothing wrong with that because people's evaluations should probably still be weighted on tape over just straight up raw physical traits.
Yeah, if you have an option to trust the film tape or the tape measure, you got to go film tape every time, right?
Exactly.
It's running in a straight line is cool to know that, but you have to watch. Terrell Davis ran slow. That's not it when it comes to running backs necessarily. It can come down to home run hitters type of guys, but it's his vision and his just if you just watch the tape, you go, oh my gosh, this guy's unreal. So yeah, I mean, maybe he slides a little bit. I don't know. Again, I just trust the tape. Guy's a football player. He filled in admirably. When he came in, it almost was there no drop off to an absolute freak out there and Jeremiah Love. So maybe this one did us a favor if he ends up getting the second round or something like that because he didn't test perfectly. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mark, any thoughts?
Yeah, I was honestly surprised how light he was. I didn't think he'd be 203 pounds. I thought he was a little bit bigger than that. I'm not overly concerned. I mean, I thought the 4.49 was fine. The 10-yard split of 1.61 is a little bit concerning, but again, I mean, you never know what kind of goes into these things. Just to give you guys an idea, that's a slower 10-yard split than what Audric Estime had.
Oh God.
And he had a shorter vert and he had a shorter broad jump. But obviously, this guy's a significantly a better player. I mean, just like you said, I think you watched the tape. The guy is fluid. He's strong, and his play speed's amazing. And I think his biggest asset is the fact that he is a really good kick returner, and that's going to help him a lot in this year's draft too. So, you put it on. He was behind the best running back that I've ever watched in Jeremiah Love, and he didn't really look a whole lot worse than him when he took over. I mean, he definitely wasn't as dynamic, but he was still very, very effective. So he was one of the guys where I wasn't overly concerned about the way that he tested, and he was buttery smooth, man. In some of the field work drills that he did, like with the bags and all that, I thought he looked really good. So, yeah, I think it was fine, but I wouldn't say it's a stock drop more so than there was just other guys that kind of took the show over, right?
Yeah,
that maybe rose a little bit, but it doesn't necessarily mean that like he hurt himself. It's just now it kind of closed the gap naturally. So,
yeah, exactly. And I'll go a little rapid fire through all these guys. Another guy who didn't lose necessarily, but there are now questions about like where he'll go, because only 8 running backs ever have been drafted that had a worse 3-cone time than Emmett Johnson did this past week. And yes, that is a real stat. And there are concerns about him being like a one-hit wonder production-wise, but I'll let you guys have the floor for this one as well. I just put together the slide, but anybody, he's another guy where you just got to watch and see what you trust. Because I think stylistically, I'm completely out on him as a fit for the Broncos. I think too much like RJ Harvey. That's just how I feel about him. But I don't hate him as a player. I don't hate him as a prospect. But any thoughts?
Helmet scouting him too. Just don't want him. So
yeah, it's not easy to want a Cornhusker. I think Emmett Johnson is going to be a very good pro running back. I'm 0% surprised he didn't run very well. He doesn't look very athletic when he plays. What makes him special, and if you guys haven't checked this out, like go dive into this. You guys remember LaShawn McCoy? Obviously, what made LaShawn McCoy such a fun runner was he just had this like lateral jump cut move that was like stupid. That's exactly the kind of move Emmett Johnson's got. Like it is actually really fun to watch. But definitely not an explosive guy, especially for somebody his size. So I think Kyron Williams is kind of my comp to him, but what makes those two guys potentially special is a different trait. But he's not going to wow you, but I think he can still be a really productive back. But I agree with you, Kodiak, in a sense of, I don't know if he's necessarily a fit for what the Broncos need, but I think he's going to be a really good NFL back ultimately.
These scores like kind of match what I saw on him. Like I just, for some reason, there was something about him. I see him, it was ranked really high. I watched the tape and I was just like, he just doesn't, for whatever reason, he didn't excite me the stylistic way that, like what you guys were saying, as far as for the Broncos, I just don't see it. So yeah, it kind of matches. I didn't know if it would be exactly that poor, but that's just kind of the way he is. But you're right. Like that's another example of a guy who he figures out a way to win despite kind of limitations.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know, my eyes must have been playing tricks on me because I literally thought Johnson was like if you put Harvey in a Nebraska uniform. I literally thought that was him to a T. Now, maybe my eyes need some testing because Harvey did way better last year at the Combine. Another guy, a few guys I want to shout out. We'll just rapid fire these so that I don't take up, too much time. But Adam Randall, I don't know why I have Mike Washington's card there still. But
She wanted to say it twice. That's why.
Yeah, exactly. I got too excited about Mike Washington where I needed him twice. 6'3", 232. So he's a wide receiver turned running back at 232 pounds, and he ran a 1.61 10-yard split, which was the same as Jadarian Price. Now, I do think he is a little estimate-ish, but he has a 0.1 faster 10-yard split, and he has a legitimate receiving profile to fall back on if all else fails. Devon Claiborne, man, I think he's a winner and a loser because I watched him at Wake Forest, and I was like, holy cow, this guy's playmaking ability is nuts. And I was like, okay, if the Broncos need an upgrade over that Jaleel spot, I would love for them to do so because Jaleel can't catch, Jaleel can't block, and Devon Claiborne can absolutely do both those things. So I thought he was a winner and a loser for the sake of this exercise. And then Robert Henry Jr., I think this guy's just a flat-out loser in the Combine. I expected him to run the fastest 40 of all running backs. I'm not even kidding. I thought he would have that top-end home run speed, but he's a Conference USA merchant. That's really all we got to say about that.
Yeah.
Seth McGowan, all right. Second best vertical for a running back ever and a fifth best broad jump ever. That mattered a lot for him. Now, the thing is, the guys who had the vertical and the broad jump around Seth McGowan's range, they all went 4th round or higher. And that matters for McGowan because McGowan was already a risky player, with, everything that happened off the field. And the fact that the off-field stuff was relatively recent within his life, relatively meaning like 4 or 5 years ago.
What did he do again? Something with a Powerade bottle?
Yeah. He got robbed, or he pled guilty to charges of robbery because he, threatened somebody with a Powerade bottle.
Okay.
But 449 is still a nice
Him
number.
and Clay Webb. What the hell is going on with this Powerade, guys?
Exactly.
They both use it as a weapon in some way.
Maybe he's meant for us.
Exactly. Maybe he'll go to Tennessee with Clay Webb. But he didn't blow the 10-yard split out of the water, but he 449 is still a nice number at 223. Still very productive as a receiver throughout his college game. So any thoughts about Randall, Claiborne, Henry, or McGowan, fellas?
I think Randall's probably my favorite day 3 running back.
Mm-hmm.
He just started playing running back too. He was a receiver before, which I like, but he's fun, man. He's good. I thought he killed it.
Yep. He's
my Kyle Monungai of this year's draft. They're a completely different player, but he's the guy I'll be pounding the table for in the 6th or 7th round.
That's high praise from Mark.
Yeah.
There's definitely some guys we could get as like a Jaleel replacement, but hopefully we make a nice couple free agency signings. But yeah, Damon Claiborne, I've kind of thought the same way with that Kodiak. And then with who's the last guy that was on there? Seth McGowan? Dude. Yeah, I like him, man. I don't know if I would want to use like a day 2 pick on him, but if he's one of our day 3 picks, I'd be pretty happy about that. I think he's a pretty good player.
Yeah, PFF had him ranked like 96, and before the combine, I was like, no way he goes that high because of all the off the field stuff. But you never know.
Yeah,
it's one of those things though. He became if it just happened in the last year, then it would hurt him. But it happened so long ago that he's changed a lot, and he's now one of the leaders on the team that it's almost like a positive in a weird way, because it's almost can trust somebody who's gone through something negative and come out the other end and really come out the other end and been such a bright spot for him. So I almost don't think it's gonna hurt him that much, honestly. If anything's gonna hurt him, it's his age, maybe. But yeah, no, I really don't think it's gonna be that big of a problem. I mean, if he checks all the boxes in the interviews, I don't think people have a problem with him.
Yeah, no, exactly. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about all these guys at the combine. Like I said, touched on him. Conference USA merchant. All right, who is next?
Oh yeah, I guess. Also, did TJ Harden run and stuff at the combine? Couldn't find his RAS score.
I don't think
he's
so.
the back from SMU.
Did he declare?
I don't think he was even at the combine.
Oh, maybe it was.
Yeah, there were a couple I really liked, like Chip Trainum, and there was somebody else who didn't get a combine invite. Oh, Dean Connors. I like him, and he didn't get a combine invite either.
Oh yeah, you forgot to mention Eli Heidenreich with a 4.44 40-yard dash, as well as a 1.51 10-yard split. He can play everything.
I'll make it.
Oh, Heidenreich?
Yeah. Heidenreich ran well.
I'll make a slide on him someday for you, David.
Thank you. Yeah, but Robert Henry Jr. is killing my UTSA dreams. You're absolutely right about that. Oh, well.
Why did I just automatically think he was going to be a 220-pound running back?
Dude, that's
something
what I
about
thought.
The name Robert Henry. I don't know why. I was like, oh, he's a big back. And then
he's got the braids like Derrick Henry too.
Yeah, plus there's already an RH in this draft, Roman Hemby, who is 6 foot. He's not actually that big, but he looks really fat.
Yeah. Good old indie back.
Well, let's move on. Mark, you had wide receivers, right?
I did have wide receivers. It's a really fun group, man. I don't know. It's a strange group of wide receivers though, because it's there's a lot of really talented guys, but completely different flavors. I don't think that there's bona fide wide receiver ones in this draft, maybe a couple, But there's a lot of guys that are going to be really good depending on like the role that they get put in or the team that they drafts them, which is why I'm kind of cooling off a little bit on like the Broncos necessarily drafting one. But I'm going to say my first stock up is holy hell. Talk about the Mike Washington Jr., but for wide receivers. And I definitely wasn't even thinking about this guy, Jeff Caldwell, wide receiver out of Cincy. All right. This dude is 6'5", 216 pounds, dusts everybody in every single thing he ran. The fastest 40 at 4.31, 10-yard split at 1.48, which is ridiculously fast, like very, very fast at 1.48, 42-inch vertical jump and 11-foot 2-inch broad. He's a 9.99, right? Or he's also a perfect 10. Yeah, he killed it. It's one of those things, man, where I didn't watch a lot of Cincy. The only time I watched Cincinnati really was to look at Joe Royer. But I'm going to definitely go back. I had it marked down. He's going to be one of the first guys I go back and watch, because when you see somebody of that size test the way that he did, there's got to be something there. Now, is he an absolutely terrible route runner? Does he do nothing? I wouldn't say no. I mean, he's someone that, has some production in college. So it could be a lot of factors. Maybe he had a really bad quarterback or whatever it might be, but 32 catches, 478 yards, 6 touchdowns last year. I mean, at Cincy. Interesting player, man. Dude that's crazy numbers. Elite all across the board. Look at that. So I thought he was a massive winner just because, listen, he probably not even be a day 2 guy, but he definitely put himself on the radar, and I'm looking forward to going and watching him.
Dude, 6'5", running a 4.31.
Yeah.
I don't care how bad of a route runner you are. Can you run straight?
Yeah. Well, and the fact that he was 215 pounds, right? Because, you're talking Chris Brazel, who is fast. We knew he was fast. Is 6'4", 198. So it's like almost a 20-pound difference between those two guys. And he dusted him in everything. 10-yard, vertical, 40, all that. So hell of an athlete. Any thoughts from you guys on Jeff Caldwell? I mean, this seems like someone Jeremy would really like.
I haven't watched him enough, but I'm excited to watch
just
him
on
now.
paper.
Yeah. Well, shoot. See all the green. That's all. I mean, obviously the score speaks for itself. That's crazy.
Kodiak, do you have any thoughts on Jeff Caldwell? Have you looked into him at all?
So I actually haven't. I'm like you, where I didn't really watch a whole ton of Cincinnati to where, or other than Joe Royer, but I'm kind of like you, where I kind of have to respect the athleticism. Like, there were a handful of guys that went, that I thought were going to go really late in this draft. Like Deion Burks was not somebody who I was even remotely interested in. Then he runs like a 4.3 flat and jumps out the gym, and I'm just like, oh dang, I might have to respect that. So my only real takeaway from Caldwell before I actually watch him is I think there's just a handful of guys at the wide receiver position that I actually have to respect a little bit more than I did coming into the combine.
No doubt. No doubt about it. So another guy that I felt really took me by surprise, and in a good way, because I liked the player a lot, was Jeremy Bernard.
Yeah.
I view him as like a jack of all trades receiver, right? He doesn't really do anything very, very, very good, but he does he doesn't do anything elite, but he does everything very good. He's just solid. That's why I think that Sean Payton would absolutely love a player like him. Did not really think he was all that athletic based off of watching him, but man, he surprised me big time. Like the 40 that he ran, I thought was really solid overall. He got into the 4.4 range, I think.
4.48.
Yeah, 4.48. His 10-yard split was really good. It was one of actually the better ones at 1.52. He jumped really well, and I thought he looked like a really good, athlete overall. So I think his stock's probably going to rise a lot, because he's one of those guys where that was the big question mark on him, is how athletic is he, and he answered the bell. And so, David, I know you love Jeremy Bernard. Anything else you wanted to add about him?
Yeah. Again, I think that he's just a good fit for what Sean Payton wants to do with some of these wide receivers. And he's got the size, you can see 6'1", and I think you give him a year or two to really develop. Maybe you're not throwing him into the fire, but I think he can become a really, really good wide receiver. I don't know about a wide receiver 1, but I think that him on this team, I think it really does elevate the room. I really do think that. I think he's a good route runner. I don't think that they, maybe Ty Simpson didn't get the ball to him downfield enough. I know that, a handful of his targets were obviously manufactured at the line of scrimmage, but that doesn't mean he doesn't have downfield route running ability. I think he does, and just wasn't featured enough. So I think he could be there for us at 62, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very much so. And again, I think he profiles really well in terms of what Sean likes to do. Jeremy Kodiak, anything else that you guys wanted to add about Jeremy?
Yeah, as a person with the name Jeremy, seeing it spelled like this, I cannot co-sign this at all.
It's Jeremy. It's not Jeremy.
Yeah.
It sounds like Jeremy.
Right. And somebody who has the name Jeremy and has been called Jeremy for like his entire upbringing, seeing a guy like willingly spelling it like this, it's like, what are we doing here? And for that, I'm out. Yeah, no. Like,
from now on, we're calling you Jeremy.
It's like not even Jeremy. It's like Gurmy. It's like that's just bad. I don't know why we have to reinvent the wheel on normal names, but spelling them differently. That's so dumb to me. But
to his credit, I don't think it's his fault.
It's not his fault, but change
I
it.
Get you.
Do something.
I get you.
Yeah, he came out the womb and they were just like, let's call him Jeremy or whatever. Ugh. But no, I wanted to not like him because of his name. I wanted to not like him literally because of how he spells his name, but it didn't happen. I still liked him, and for all the reasons that you laid out, Mark, I think he's a really good guy. I think he, offers, there's a difference. I think there's a V word that potentially needs to be banned from draft talk: versatility. Because a lot of the times it just leads to instability. That being said, Jeremy Bernard is versatile, and I like that you give him, things around the line of scrimmage, touches around the line of scrimmage. And I like his yak. He's more of a, make you miss guy than a run through contact guy. But yeah, man, good blocker too. So I think I think he'd be really good.
Now, Big E. I mean, calling him the Alex Singleton of wide receivers, man. Wow, just doing him dirty.
I actually have that guy for you. I'll get to him.
Now that I'm thinking about it, maybe him being his name spelled like that has like put him under such like I'll show you type of mentality. Like he got probably picked on for that for a long time. So maybe it is like a net positive.
Oh, Mark Hydra says reminds me of Chris Godwin. Is that fair?
That's a very, very good comp. And they're like this similar size profile, which I love. I love that size profile, like the 6'1", 210, like kind of built like a running back.
Yeah.
I think you see a lot of really good receivers that are built like that. That's a high drama. You nailed. That's a great comp there, man. I love that. And his last name is Bernard too. Like he's really, the name is gonna be a little bit annoying, but I love the Chris Godwin.
We'll call him Bernie.
GB. Jeremy Bernie. Jeremy Bernie. I don't know. Yeah, we gotta figure something out.
G-Burn.
We can't call him Jeremy. We can't I don't know. We got to figure something out. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just GB.
All right. A couple other dudes we won't necessarily get into him too much, but I thought Bryce Lance looked great.
Yes.
Tested super well, buttery smooth. I liked him in North Dakota State. Apparently he at the Senior Bowl. I don't know if he was.
I think so.
Yeah. If he was, then I feel like I remember him saying like he performed pretty well there, but obviously coming from a smaller college. But the dude is he's an athletic freak, man. He's Christian Watson, very similar profile. Again, don't really care for him for the Broncos particularly, but I think he's really good. Chris Brazel, I thought did really well. I mean, we knew he was going to be really athletic, but the testing numbers and all that was super solid. So I thought he did really well. Couple guys that I felt like really hurt their stock, in my opinion. The first one hurts my heart, and that's Malachi Fields, man. I really wanted him to pop off. I thought I saw some of that sneaky DK Metcalf type of athleticism, but yeah, he ran the 4.6, which was a little bit disappointing. 1.58 10-yard split is not terrible though. But you know what's crazy is that he did the 3-cone. To his credit, he did the 3-cone. He did the 3-cone great. I mean, 6.98 was really good, but he jumped really well, but just didn't run, and he looked very stiff, very awkward running. So I don't think he did himself a lot of favors. He's I think he probably dropped quite a bit. Like he's going to be more of a mid-round guy now rather than what I thought was like a surefire second, maybe early third. Just because, and a lot of it's not necessarily his fault. I mean, he just wasn't asked to do a lot and run a lot of different routes at Notre Dame, and doesn't really seem like he's got all the tools. So any thoughts on Malachi?
I dropped him substantially as well. And real quick, I do want to talk about Bryce Lance real quick. He's a guy that I kind of disagree with you, Mark. I think I would like his fit for the Broncos because I don't think we have, that bigger developmental guy who like offers a lot of upside in the yak game. So the reason I didn't really like him as a prospect, I had him as like my wide receiver 21, and I didn't watch every wide receiver. But full disclosure, I don't think he won enough against FCS corners. I just flat out don't think he did. I didn't see like real separation ability there. That being said, the playmaking ability is there. And I think, having a guy like that with that sort of upside that you could potentially develop, something about that's intriguing to me.
Mm-hmm. No, he's intriguing. And again, it depends for me. It depends on where's he going to get drafted? Because I feel like he's always had kind of a lot of buzz, and it might go up now. I don't know if I would take him in the second or third.
No.
But if it's an early day 3.
When did we draft Brandon Marshall?
Fourth, right?
Fourth
round. Totally happy with that. Give him a year, and then let's see what he can do.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Absolutely agree. I thought he looked and when I don't know, like if you guys watch the 4, I love the Gauntlet's my favorite. We'll get to the Gauntlet.
The Gauntlet is
I
so
love
fun.
to watch the 40s, but instead of like the time, I like to see how the guys look.
Yep.
And like I was blown away by how smooth a lot of these guys look running. And then other guys look awkward, but they still run fast. And that's something that stood out to me with Bryce Lance and obviously Mike Washington. Mike Washington looked like he wasn't even running. So the biggest stock down for me, to the point where I think I'm actually going to take him out of my top 5 in my wide receiver ranks, guys.
Oh.
And he was my number 1 wide receiver. And that's Makai Lemon. Because firstly, I hear this guy talk in the interviews. And I was so, when somebody talks and you just get really annoyed, it's just like, why the hell do you talk like that? Drove me crazy, dude. Like, does this weird thing talking like he's a snake, comes off as like super cocky, arrogant, not confident at all. And then decides he's not going to run it. He's not going to participate in any of the drills, which I hate, by the way. Like, I don't, because so a lot of people are knocking like Carnell Tate. He didn't run very good. Dude, the guy went out and did everything. I love that. I don't like it when guys don't participate and they're healthy. Look at Jeremiah Love. Jeremiah Love could have absolutely, the only thing he could have done is hurt himself by testing. Ashton Genty didn't want no part to do with the testing. He came out and did everything. Every single thing. He even did the 3-cone, I think. Like, that's the kind of guy. Like, Makai Lemon doesn't even test. He's undersized, and I get it. But man, like the demeanor rubbed me the wrong way. And then there was a report that came out today, it was in the Discord, that I don't know if I shared it or somebody else, but I saw it on Twitter too, that like they said whoever was coaching him for the interviews should be fired because he absolutely bombed every single interview with the team. I'm telling you guys, if that's true, he is going to free fall in the NFL draft because he is also like really strictly a slot receiver. Now, I think a very good slot receiver, but that's all that he is. So super, super, super low on Makai Lemon. It had nothing to do with the on-field performances. It was just like what I saw. Guy, if you haven't seen it, it's the most cringe interview. Like it to the point where I was like, I don't want, if he's available at 30 because he drops, I don't know if I can take listening to him. I really don't think
the whole interview is very bizarre.
Yeah, and it was like, it's the people in the comments were like, is he flirting with me? Like, why is he talking to me like that? And that's kind of like how I felt. It was weird, dude.
The way he was was weird. The way he was like shifting, like, I'm a Ross St. Brown, the type of impact he has away from the ball. Like, it was so funny.
he was like, yeah, and he was like doing this, like licking his lips. It was weird, man. I've never seen anything like it. So he was a big drop down. And then I wanted to just give a funny shout out here. Oh, any thoughts on Makai Lemon, I guess, guys? Because I know he's like mostly people's number one receiver.
I mean, if he falls to 30, take him.
I mean,
yeah.
Okay, I will be pounding the table for us to take him. Don't get it twisted, but it'd be like, oh, just don't listen to us.
Yeah.
Just don't listen to him.
Does he wear a lemon chain?
Dude.
No, see, that
like
would actually
Jerry
be funny.
Judy.
Like better, like okay, so Jerry Judy's Star of David, because they call him Jew, is like the
Cringe.
dumbest thing. Whoever even told him like that's okay to do is just an idiot.
It's the dumbest thing.
Like fire that guy. But if he wore a lemon, I'd be like, all right, like that's fine. Like that wouldn't bother me. But I don't think he did.
Have you ever heard of like the theory like aptronym or whatever, where it's basically, let me pull it up, because this seems to happen all the time in life, and I'm just like, there's got to be something for this. It's sometimes used in academic writing to refer to a name that fits some aspect of their character. So it's like if the guy's name is like, something. Have you ever seen like a tight end and his name is like Beast or Powers or something, like it matches the style?
Yeah.
Lemon's not a good one.
No,
Not a good
you do not
one.
want to get a lemon. Yeah.
No.
Trout man.
Yeah.
Trout, just a bad name.
Single
for tight end.
tin. Like, no, we
Right.
want multiple tins. You know
That
what I mean?
was-
Like the singles, the big.
Singleton is almost like prophetic. if you know
Big
his
butt.
story.
Jake
Yeah.
Butt,
Green
that's
law.
a great
I want
one.
an orange law.
Yeah. Jake Butt is like one, not in college, but in the pros. Yeah, it's just
Jake
like
Jake Butt, you got butt. That's what you got.
every
about to
time I
say.
see somebody with that name and I'm just like, oh, I don't know. I don't fully believe in it, but like I kind of believe in it. It seems to work out
Yeah.
a lot.
It does. It does. But yeah, and then just to kind of wrap up the wide receiver, I just had to put this in there. Emmanuel Henderson Jr. from is it Florida? It's Florida, right? Kansas. I keep thinking Florida. I don't know why. Maybe because there was another Henderson that came out of Florida recently. He was a DB, but that was several years ago. Anyways, though, dude, Emmanuel Henderson ran what I saw to be the worst gauntlet drill in the history of gauntlets. I wish we had the video. I don't even know if we can find it.
I'm gonna try and find it. If we need to crop it out,
This dude
afterwards,
was
we're
jogging.
gonna watch it.
Yeah, this dude was jogging, like half jog. He was running like this, like he was drunk, and he dropped like 4 out of the 6 passes. It was unbelievable. I watched it and I was like, I don't know who that is. And then they finally flashed his name on the bottom. But I was like, do not touch him with a 10-foot pole. Do not touch him with a 10-foot pole.
It has to be on here, dude. I cannot find it anywhere.
They probably were like, this is embarrassing. We're just gonna scrub it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they probably like his agent probably copyright struck all of it.
Probably.
And then the Alex Singleton of the wide receiver position, guys. His name is Caden Wetgen. Iowa wide receiver.
Dude.
Yes. Yeah. Tested really well, actually. So that's not why. But when they were when Daniel Jeremiah was talking about him, they're like, this is someone that you're just not going to be able to not have on your 53-man roster. The toughness that he brings and what he does. Is he going to be the best player? No. Is he the best this? No. But he's somebody that your teammates are going to love and the coaches are going to have a hard time cutting. And that is why Caden Wetgen is the Alex Singleton of this year's wide receiver core.
Oh my gosh, dude, this guy, he's like Michael Bandy, right?
Yep.
But I bet Michael Bandy's better.
He might be a little bit like the guy that we liked a lot last year that played for the Patriots from Eastern Washington?
Chisholm?
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, Afton
Chisholm?
Chisholm.
Afton Chisholm. You know, but I think every 5'9" white wide receiver they're all like the same to me,
Wet.
you know.
Yeah, he's every coach's wet dream.
Yeah.
Wetgen. Yeah.
Caden Wet Dream.
Well,
All right,
thanks,
that's all I
Mark.
got for
This was
that's all I
great,
got for
man.
the receivers.
Interesting.
All right, Jeremy.
All right.
We got tight ends.
Tight ends. Yeah. Okay. I said it earlier. A couple really, really stood out. And then some kind of surprisingly stood out. Let's just go off the top rope. I was hoping this guy was going to make it to us 30. That ain't going to happen probably at this point. Like, we're going to have to trade up if we want him. Kenyon Sadiq from Oregon. I mean, he just went bananas. Let's see. His
I'm pulling it up right now.
yeah, pull it up.
He's a 999, I think.
Well, I don't
There's a
know. I
lot
think
of
his
these.
relative is that threat score wasn't
Oh,
it? It was
943.
but it was yeah, because of
It's
some
because
other
he's
stuff.
short.
Yeah. the
But
height
dude,
width.
this guy can absolutely run. He ran a 4.39, the fastest tight end ever to be recorded at the combine. And then his vertical was I think the second best ever. It was a 43.5 vertical. Unreal to match. Just if you watch his tape, he's leaping over guys, he's running past guys. It's like he's unreal. I'm kind of surprised that, and then yeah, to go with the second guy who's killed it, Eli Stowers from Vanderbilt. Look at this broad jump. Like he's got the springiest legs I've ever seen. His vertical and his broad jump are like
Ridiculous.
all times. But yeah, those two guys are the guys that really showed out, but they didn't have necessarily the best like 3 cones or that kind of thing. Sam Roush, surprisingly.
Yes.
If you want to pull him up, he had an
Told y'all about
unbelievable-
Sammy.
Oh,
I think
I
he's gonna
know.
be a 9.9.
He's a 9.93 RAS score
Yeah.
guy.
Crazy.
And
I'm now fully in, even though what's his arm length at 30 inches? Whatever.
Don't even care anymore. Forgot about that.
they have him as 9.99,
They're
but
30 and a half. They got him at 30.6. That 0.6 makes a difference.
Big time, dude.
and Sam Roush is one of those guys that kind of is good at everything. And when you just watch him, he's not necessarily the fastest guy you've ever seen or anything, but like, man, he just catches it smoothly. He just looks like a professional tight end. Like
He does.
just day one, plug and play. He's not fighting the ball at all. He's smooth. He can block. You really can just settle in and do everything. So he was a big winner. A late guy that I kind of liked who ran fast as well, RJ Maryland. He's Russell Maryland's son.
Mhm.
Oh.
He ran really fast. He goes to SMU. His RAS score is only an 8.58, but I looked at his tape after the fact and I really liked him as a player. He looked kind of he was using his hands. He can go catch back shoulder. He got good ability. And I think, let me look up PFF again. I had it pulled up here. PFF has him like right now. He's got him 286 overall. So like
Yeah.
he could be one of those guys late that might surprise a lot of people. And then there's kind of like a hodgepodge of guys in the middle that I kind of like all of them. There's Dallin Bentley,
Yes.
Tanner Kozel, and then the guy from Wyoming, Gillenborg.
Mhm.
All of those guys looked pretty good. Like they all were fluid. Like you were talking about the gauntlet. I like all of them in that. But yeah, Bentley, Kozel, and Gillenborg are all kind of like those mid-round guys that actually I would be pretty excited to. Now, if we have to take care of business elsewhere early, like running back or linebacker, a lot. Stock exchanges did a 2-round mock, and they had us taking Jacob Rodriguez, I think.
Jacob
in the
Rodriguez
first.
at 30. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they had us taking Stowers in the second,
Yeah.
which I'd be pumped for. But even if you don't get one of those guys in the first few rounds, day 2, any of those Kozel, Gillenborg, or Bentley, I like those guys a lot in the middle rounds. Jack Andrews looked good as well. I thought he was really smooth. There was a lot of guys that I was like, oh, there's way more. It's not Sadiq, Stowers, and then people like Eli Raridan and those guys too. But injuries is pretty high. But in the middle rounds, it's kind of forgotten about. But I liked a lot of those guys in the middle. Is there any of those? Is there anybody that stood out to you guys?
Raridan.
Raridan. Yeah, I mean, tested real well.
For me, it was Jaron Kanak from Oklahoma. I heard of Kanak. It's the same forward or backward.
Oh, that's cool.
And a lot of people in the comments or like on Twitter would say, like, look into this guy, and I like briefly did, and I saw him as like, okay, this guy's a super athletic kid because I saw he had a track background. But then, man, at the combine, like he was buttery smooth too. Like he looked good in all the drills. His gauntlet, in my opinion, was the best of all the tight ends. He just looked natural. Yeah. And the thing, well, here's the thing about it. So exactly, he's not gonna He's not going to blow you away with like his size, but apparently he's a very good blocker. And usually when you're 6'2", you kind of have the ability to get leverage. But he's like, I don't want to compare him to Harold Fannin because he blew up, but like Harold Fannin wasn't really that big either. Like he was just a shade like 6'3" and a tiny bit. But this kid is like, man, H-back type of role. You can move him around. He can block, but surprisingly very, very athletic, like 4.52. He has a track background where he used to run the 100 meters, 36-inch vert. So I thought he tested well, but aside from testing well, he just looked really good in all the drills. Just kept constantly standing out to me too. So he's someone that I'm interested in. I'll dive into a little bit more, but I thought he looked really good, man.
He did. And I don't know. Yeah. The good news is we're spoiled for choice. Like there's a lot of tight ends that we could take in the mid rounds where I'd be happy with the pick. And, free agency, our choices aren't that stellar as far as what we need to do at the tight end position or what we should do. But in this, upcoming draft, we have a lot of really good choices. Was Trigg at the combine? Did he run the drills? Okay.
No,
I didn't think so. But that's another one where if you're just talking pure ball, then he might be very high up on a lot of teams' lists. I thought he was maybe the best vertical tight end in the class. Josh Cuevas is somebody who hasn't been talked about yet. I like him. I think he's a really good H-back, underrated yak. And another guy I want to shout out is Marlon Klein. Like, once again, I watched the tape, didn't really like it, but very athletic. And I think there's definitely room to grow. He was like built in the lab, like 6'6" or whatever. He was big and tested really well, jumped out the gym. So we're spoiled for choice in the mid rounds for sure.
Yeah. So people like, that's the thing is like, I don't want people to panic if we get to day 3 of the draft and we haven't picked certain positions, because it's going to be interesting how they attack this, because it's weighted differently this year. Like the running backs, it's kind of like, I don't know. Sitting right now, how would you guys feel like? Let me ask you this. I'll ask Kodiak because he's a Mike Washington guy. Would you rather draft, let's say both these guys fell to 30, Mike Washington or Kenyon Sadiq?
Mike Washington, because the draft is just deeper at running back. And I think there's a lot of, the deepest drafter at tight end, I bet. And there's just a lot of guys that I'd be happier with in the middle rounds at tight end rather than running back in those middle rounds. Like, oh boy, like 7th round Jamari Taylor or 4th round Jamari Taylor, like cool. But 4th round Sam Roush, 4th round Jack Endries, now we're talking.
Right. Yeah. How do you either one of you, Mark, David, disagree with that? Would you rather take Sadiq or Washington?
In the first round?
Yeah, if you had to pick one in the first round.
Oh, Sadiq easily. Yeah.
I'll go with running back.
You know me with backs in the first, but I mean,
that's how I think kind of about tight ends.
Yeah. Well, it's tough because both of them, man, the first thing I thought of when I saw Sadiq run, I was like, shit, he's not.
Me too.
Damn.
Me too.
Listen, there's a lot of tight ends I like. There's just one guy that is an absolute no chance we can draft him. That's Miles Kitselman. What an horrendous performance that he had at the combine. In the gauntlet, it was terrible. He was dropping like even the warm-up routes.
Yeah.
He's awkward as hell. He ran a 4.9.
Oh God.
Right. He had a slower 10-yard split than like some of the defensive tackles in this draft. He just looked he looked nervous. But yeah, he's a big no-no for me. But otherwise, I thought it was a pretty fun, fun group. And there seems to be a lot of guys that actually fit what the Broncos need. But I'm really high on Eli. Like I'm at the point now with Eli Stowers where I'm hoping like maybe with Davis Webb calling plays, maybe now a lot of the old things that we always worried about was like if Eli Stowers gets drafted, he's not going to play. Maybe all that's kind of out the window because Eli Stowers looked great and you hear just glowing things about him as a person. So I'm all for Eli Stowers.
Yeah, it's funny. One more thought about Kitselman. I was like doing my tight end film notes, and Kitselman is literally dead last. Like, there's nobody that I had ranked lower than Kitselman when I was watching them.
Dude, 17 tight ends tested. 11 of them had a relative athletic score of 9 or more. 2 of them had 8s, 3 of them had 7s, and then Kitzelman was a 5.8.
Yeah, Kitzelman
It was like a fall
Lord.
off.
dude, and also like he's tall and he's got some weight to him, and he's got like really short arms. He's like the most awkward guy. Yeah, he just looked weird. Poor guy.
But he had that like surfer hair, so that made up for everything.
I guess.
All right.
I mean,
Well,
see.
we've covered the offense. Now it's time to find our Alex Singleton replacements. That's right. This is not a safe space for Alex Singleton. You're out of here. I pray you don't re-sign with the Broncos every day. And so, guys, similar to how we talked about tight end, just having a lot of just great athletes throughout the draft. Linebacker is the same way this year. I'm almost wondering if you draft 2 linebackers because you can get such good athletes this year at the position. So there is no excuse for George Payton and Sean Payton to look away from this position this year. And I don't think they are, judging by what all the talking heads are talking about. So let me get to some of the guys that really stood out to me. And pretty much all the linebackers who did like all the testing, they all tested like pretty well as athletes. Anthony Hill Jr., somebody that I've talked about. I think he's a really good linebacker out of Texas. Would not shock me if he's, our first pick. I would prefer offense, but I can get behind it. He's awesome. Jake Golday. This guy's 6'4" and ran a 4.62 40, weighing 140 pounds. That's something to
240 pounds.
Oh, yeah, 240. Thank you. That's something to take note of. Is vertical, 39 inches, broad, 10 feet, 5 inches. I like him as an athlete. Now, one of the biggest winners was Jacob Rodriguez. For some reason, I don't know what the deal is, man. Big 12's wide open. You got to be a good athlete in the Big 12. Jacob Rodriguez isn't some try-hard guy whose only good quality about him is that he listens. Okay? This guy generates turnovers, and he backed up that production with a really solid combine. And he also did the shuttle and 3-cone and tested a lead at that as well. But you can see a 4.57 40, a 1.60 10-yard split. I'm all about Jacob Rodriguez at pick 62.
He's my new number 1 choice for pick 30. That's how big this was. And guys, if you ever have to worry about a linebacker not being able to learn Spanish, draft a Rodriguez, man. Because this dude can definitely speak the Vance Joseph Spanish. But anyways, all jokes aside, a massive combine for him, dude. Like, the tape is unbelievable. The guy is a forced fumble machine. Number 1 overall graded PFF linebacker, number 1 graded against the run, and number 1 graded against coverage.
Crazy.
All of them. And not only did he run a good 40, his 10-yard split was good. His shuttle was amazing. His 3-cone was amazing.
Yep.
He was moving. Yes, I would take Jacob Rodriguez at 30. I love that the NFL Stock Exchange people did. I think I've always felt like the tape was good enough, but maybe he's going to have the Alex Singleton trait of not being the most athletic and always being a step behind. I don't see that with him, man. I think Jacob Rodriguez is a stud. And we need a Spanish speaker at a middle linebacker. I don't know if he speaks Spanish, but it makes sense.
So well said.
Dude, pull up a picture of Jacob Rodriguez.
Yes.
Dude looks like a cop. He could be called the patrolman on our team.
Yes.
He could be the guy who just patrols the middle of the field. Seriously.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. He's got a beautiful stash.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, yeah, here we go. Boom.
Yep. Come on, dude. He looks like a 1980s cop.
That's right. That's what I'm saying. It's like Paul Blart almost.
Yeah, dude.
Dude, he's so good.
He's got some gray hairs in there, so.
I know. There were people talking in our stream last night about how this guy is mid. I'm just like, if you're betting against Jacob Rodriguez, you're betting against one of the most productive college linebackers ever. Straight up. 13 turnovers this past year. What did we have as a team? Like, in the regular season, I think it was
I think 13 or 14.
I think it was 13, and then we got 5 in the playoff game. But still, like, just the havoc. Like, you actually get TFLs with Jacob Rodriguez, which is something you don't with your current starting linebacker, who shall not be named. You actually get 7 forced fumbles, I think. Like, I get that might be a little unsustainable, but this guy has a nose for football. This guy has playmaking ability. We need guys to make plays in the middle of our defense. We need guys to make plays on our defense in general, because we haven't got the football back to our offense enough. But still, like, you know what? I'm with you, Mark. Like, I would, he's very much creeping up into my high wish list for number 30.
It's like, our defense was obviously really, really good, but I would not put them near the level of no fly zone or any of that kind of stuff. But you throw a guy like this in the middle of the field who's going to help with both the run and the pass, and he's just going to force turnovers. The one thing that this elite defense kind of struggled with, I mean, it could take the defense to the next level. I mean, to be one of those all-timers.
And he was like the green dot captain guy on the number 1 defense in the country at Texas Tech, man. Like, he's a baller, and he did it against all the competition. I was so pumped for him. I think he crushed it, and he's not going to be available at 62. Not a chance.
No.
So if you want him, you got to take him at 30.
Yeah, guys, your PFF mocks still have Mike Washington at 108 and Jacob Rodriguez at 62. You got to get that out of your head. All right.
Yes. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I know.
No way.
When people post their like mock drafts to like X or whatever, and they're like, how did I do? And you're like, well, none of those guys are going to be there. So.
Exactly.
No.
You did great, but.
Yeah. One of my TikTok comments said, the ideal draft would be getting Mike Washington, Kenyon Sadiq, Jacob Rodriguez. I was like, that is no longer feasible after how all these guys performed this past weekend.
No.
There were a few other guys that I wanted to highlight here really quickly. More so like day 3 guys that I just think are good athletes that could turn into really good football players for us. Number 1, Michigan linebacker Jimmy Rolder. This guy didn't run the 40. Obviously impressive agility tests. Tested well with the vertical, but 6'2.5", 240 pounds. And yeah, go watch this guy sometime, man. Like, this guy has just great instincts. He's like a missile, man. I feel like how he attacks the run. I really do like Jimmy Rolder. So he's somebody to keep an eye on. And I think I'm like fully in on like Jack Kelly being one of like my guys. I know he didn't grade out well like in coverage this year for BYU, but when you look at everything and how he tested, I think it tells me that he's got the attributes to become better in coverage. And this dude is a serious blitzer. Not only can he do like A-gap blitzes and stuff, twists, different things like that. This guy can be a legitimate like blitzer off the edge for you too. And I mean, this guy captained BYU multiple years. He was like the heart of their defense. I like the idea of, Mountain West guys in the Mountain West region, staying in the region in Colorado. So Jack Kelly, I think he's one of my guys after this combine. I mean, he also runs like a missile, but 240 pounds, that's serious. And then last one I got here, this guy who ran really well, Justin Jefferson out of Alabama. He's a little bit more undersized linebacker, 6 feet, 223 pounds, but ran a really good 40, has good explosive traits. And I noticed this looking at his draft profile. His average depth of tackle was like 7.5 yards. So the man gets downfield really quick to make run stops, and that's something that really pops out to me. But all these guys, I think the last few would be, day 3 guys. But man, I think I'm just a real big fan of Jack Kelly. Like, if we go and get Jacob Rodriguez and Jack Kelly, it's game over.
Love it.
Jack Kelly's like all-time great linebacker name too.
Yeah.
You believe in that
Yeah.
kind of thing?
So
Yep. Love
Yeah.
it. There's a lot of good linebackers, man. There's so many good ones. CJ Allen, I know he didn't test, but Kyle Lewis is going to be a really fun player. Some people got him as a safety. Some people got him as a linebacker. He's kind of a hybrid. I actually think VJ would love that because he kind of ran a lot of those packages last year where he'd have one linebacker and like an extra safety or Barron in there or something. He's good. Torian York is one of those. This is a loaded class, and I'm all with you. Let's get two of them, man. Let's get two of these guys.
Yeah, because I mean, I was even looking at like, the guys that we brought in last year at linebacker. It was what, Jordan Turner, Karene Reed. Like those guys' RAS scores were like 5 point something, 6 point something. Like it was pretty much every single linebacker who tested at the combine was like a high 8 or above. And granted, a lot of them didn't do the agility drills, so maybe it's a little inflated, but I think this is a good class to draft multiple linebackers in, like you said, Mark.
Yep.
So
yeah, you want someone that can cover running backs for sure. That's Kyle Lewis. That guy was going one-on-one with the running backs at the Senior Bowl and just like sticking them. So
yes, Kyle Lewis. He was another guy I had on here. I just didn't get to, but he ran a 4.53. So a little bit smaller than some of those guys, but
I'm going to go back and check out. I'm going to go back and check out that TCU kid too, Caleb Alarms-Orr. He was flying.
Yes.
6'2", 235, ran a 4.47. Had it not been for Sonny Styles, everyone would have been talking about him. So another guy to maybe add to the list. Well, for me, add to the list to go watch for sure, and then see where he stacks up.
Well, this was a very successful horsepower hour, y'all. If you're just now tuning in, we got some people just tuning in. Be sure to catch or rewind, catch the replay. We go through all the winners at running back, tight end, wide receiver, and now linebacker. But guys, I guess next week we'll actually have some free agency drama to talk about. We'll see. Tomorrow's the tag deadline. So Jaquan McMillan's been tagged, but Alex Palczewski hasn't yet. Right? He hasn't been tagged with a tender. And we will patiently await to see if this Alex Singleton stuff was just fake news or real.
Can't wait. It's going to be drama. There's going to be things breaking during the show next week.
Oh, man.
That's for sure. And we're going to get you a nice little cake, Kodiak, for your birthday.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Get you a virtual cake.
You can finally drink, Kodiak.
Exactly.
Also, wanted to mention Tyler Columbus. If you haven't checked out his channel, he posted a video a few days ago about how he failed his combine and went from like a mid-round pick to undrafted based on his testing. It was pretty hilarious. So go check it out. He fell down during his 40. I did not know that.
That's awesome, actually.
Yeah, he face planted doing his 40. So go check out Mount Columbus Speaks. Anything else coming up on your channels? Kodiak, Mark, Jeremy?
Tomorrow, I'm dropping at 9 a.m. with an Australian, my top 5 free agent wish list. So Aussie Talks NFL. Aussie Talks NFL, who you guys know from the Discord and on Twitter. If you guys are on Broncos Twitter, he's hysterical. He's another one of these guys that is very pragmatic and realistic about the team. So we're not going to just be spewing nonsense, but you're finally going to get my top 5 because it's easy during combine season to get lost in the sauce with all these prospects. But guess what? We still got a whole cycle of free agency to know where we need to improve the team in the draft. So yeah, I got that dropping at 9 a.m. tomorrow.
Love that. Mark, anything?
Tomorrow I got dropping a video on Jacob Rodriguez, specifically about him. I'm so excited about that one, and looking forward to seeing Aussie Talks NFL, man.
Yeah.
I love that. How many times did he say "nar" on your video?
Well, we're gonna record at midnight Denver time to make sure he can still, because it's Australia.
So just try to get him to say the word "no" as much as you can. It's the best, dude. Australian is the coolest accent ever by far. My series Australian. I love it.
Do you want us to re-sign Alex Singleton? Him, nar.
You're like, all right, cool, perfect. Can you say it a little louder?
That's great. And Jeremy, when are you going to start posting solo videos, huh?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm gonna surprise you guys.
He's like, well, my
Not
kids
gonna
are in
happen.
college.
That's yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I'm working on a lot of other stuff. Sorry, non-football related right now, so it's kind of taking up a lot of my time. But I mean, this is such an interesting, fun time of the year because it's like there's just so much information to comb over and so many different things. So, it's like I was telling my wife, she's like, "Isn't it the off season? Do you still have your podcast? Are you still guys talking about? What are you guys talking about?" I'm like, "There's never an off season. Like, there's kind of more. I have to do more research and look at more stuff now than I do during the season."
Definitely.
So,
Yes, it's a lot more work, but it's also a ton of fun. Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to Horsepower Hour. I greatly appreciate every single one of you. Again, we'll be back next week to talk more free agency. Until then, go Broncos.
He's grabbed and